Hi guys, Shira here. It's been over a week since the Paris terror attacks, and it's taken me over a week to figure out what I want to say to you, as I've been too busy trying to process how many murders and attempted murders and critical injuries have occurred due to terror attacks in Israel since what happened in Paris. On November 13th, 130 people were murdered and 350 more were injured in Paris in the span of just a few hours due to coordinated terror attacks. This was the most deadly attack against France since the Second World War. Within a few hours, Mark Zuckerberg, chairman and CEO of Facebook, changed his profile picture to the flag of France. With a simple click of a button, millions of Facebook users followed suit. Israelis and Jews all over the world are outraged by the support France has received worldwide. Israelis, as we all know, have been targets of Islamic terror attacks since the birth of the country 67 years ago. And with an escalation over the last 20-some years, Israelis have experienced 3 wars against the Arabs over the last 6 years, not to mention daily rocket attacks throughout this time, and daily stabbing, shooting, and car ramming attacks since Rosh Hashanah, almost 3 months ago. If all of your Facebook friends are Jewish or Israeli, odds are is that you're under the impression that Facebook is overflowing with pro-Israel propaganda. But that's not the truth. It's very far from the truth. Facebook algorithms ensure that you see what you want to see. I would say that personally, about 99% of my Facebook friends are Jewish, Israeli, or sympathetic, but I am a member of a few American non-Jewish Facebook groups. I think this is a great way for me to see how the average secular American sees world events. Over the last little while, I learned very quickly that the general American society is just clueless about what's going on in the world around them. If the media doesn't report it, and they don't go out of their way to go research, then they just don't know what's going on. You and I both know that innocent civilians are murdered every day in Iran, in Syria, in Kenya, in Israel, in Russia, and Turkey by ISIS, ISIL, and similar terror organizations. Yet for some reason, none of these events are worthy of headlining news, and as a result, the average American just doesn't know and doesn't even care. So when a huge-scale terror attack, such as the one that happened in Paris, and yes, huge scale even according to Israeli standards, it happens in a first-world country in the middle of Europe, the media is going to report it and not stop reporting it, and Jews worldwide are upset. I cannot deny that the mass murder of 130 plus people in Paris over a period of just a few hours is too insane to fathom. I also know that the suffering of family and friends of the victims will just never end. But on the other hand, anyone who has any association with Israel knows how this feels. As crazy acts of terror like this, okay, maybe not on such a grand scale, but the stuff happens all the time, every single day. And when Israelis cry out to the world, we're ignored. The French Prime Minister barely blinked an eye at all the attacks in Israel, and he ignored the warnings about radical Islam. But as soon as this happened in Paris, in his own home country, the whole world had his back, including that of Israel's Prime Minister. So you might say this is not the time to be comparing Paris to Israel. You might say that it's heartless to use the tragic terror attacks in Paris to back Israel's indignation for social and political equality. You might say that it's completely unsympathetic to play the "my people suffer more than yours" card when the family and friends of 130 dead are hurting. You might say, why can't you just be sad for Paris and then shut up? Why bring Israel into this at all? I'll tell you why. It's because this is the only time we can bring up Israel. Because as Israelis, as Jews, we get it. We understand the constant fear of Islamic terror. We understand what it means to be hyper alert at all times, always expecting the worst. We understand what it means to have just 15 seconds to run for shelter before the rocket hits. We understand what it means to have boulders thrown at our cars as we drive down the highway. We understand what it means to lose a parent, a sibling, a friend, a teacher, a coworker. We understand what it means to have our lives changed forever by a deranged Muslim running around with a bomb, a gun, a knife. We understand what it means not to feel safe as we go about our daily business, walking to school, going shopping, filling up gas, waiting for the bus, driving on the highway, praying at a synagogue, riding a bike. So when we show our sympathy for Paris by expressing our outrage at mainstream media, by sidelining the Israeli suffering, we're not saying that we don't care about Paris. No, we're actually telling the people about Paris that we understand. We know what you're going through. Because unlike any other first world country in this world, unlike anyone else who's changing their Facebook profile picture to the French flag, we have been there. We are there.
Thanks again for watching! You can click here to watch my previous vlog, probably one of my best, so you might not want to miss out. Click on the squares below to either watch all my vlogs, check out my channel page, or subscribe to my channel to be the first to find out when I upload something new. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.